Welcome to the Thrillers and Killers podcast with Doug, Aaron, Brianna, and Jacob.
Yo.
Jacob's back. He's still alive.
Surprisingly, yes.
Today we're gonna cover Gone Girl, directed by somebody.
David Fincher, my friend.
Directed by David Fincher.
Mr. Fight Club himself.
Produced by... Sorry, fuck that. We don't get producer's credit over here.
Starring... I think, wait, didn't Reese Witherspoon get a producer credit on this?
No fucking way.
Yes.
She did.
She did.
Starring... Focus, people.
Ben Affleck.
Starring the best Batman.
Ooh.
Said no one ever. Rosamund? Rosetta Stone?
Just Rosamund.
Rosamund Pike. Neil Patrick Harris. Tyler Perry. Carrie Coon. Budget $61 million. Box office $369.3 million.
Oof. Now that is a profit, ladies and gentlemen.
Did I miss anything?
8.1 score on IMDb out of 10.
All right.
Other than that, I think you covered it all, though.
Yeah.
Hey, well, let's just roll right into the story arc, fellas.
Yeah. Element 1 was plot.
Oh, hold on. This is based off the novel. There is a novel that goes with this. And this
same name, right?
Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn.
Yes.
Jillian. That's probably Jillian, bro, not Gillian.
Also, it has, I don't know, I would have to look up the years, I didn't do my research, but either the book or the movie, if the movie really matches the book, then both of them are kind of based off the Scott Peterson and Lacey Peterson case, FYI. If you don't know what that is, then look it up. But they have some similarities.
I'm guessing it's a woman who framed her husband for murder.
Actually, no, that's where it strays differently. They think that he murdered her, and she was like 8 months pregnant. It was on Christmas Eve. It was years
actually
ago.
Killed her?
Well, that's what they think. But I mean, he hasn't no, he's in jail. But I mean, he hasn't as far as I know, I could be wrong. I don't think he's come out and been like, okay, I did this. Like, he's maintained his innocence throughout this time. I'll have to look that up. But no, he wasn't framed because her remains were actually found.
Oh.
So
it's a plant.
But the similarity, well, we can get in the plot points and I can kind of talk about some of the similarities. Obviously she goes missing. The wife goes in the story goes missing.
Yeah.
So that's one similarity.
So all right, so let's hit that story arc, you know what I'm saying?
Story arc wise, we got for our whole inciting incident is Ben Affleck. What's his character name?
Affleck.
Nick Dunn.
Nick. Let's call him Nick the whole time.
We're gonna call him Giga Punchable Face.
Dude, I can't stand this dude.
He's one of those motherfuckers that you just want to curb stomp for no reason.
Jesus Christ.
You don't ever think that about somebody?
Okay, so our inciting incident
is
Mr. Nick Dunn's wife goes missing on their anniversary.
Wait, hold up. So you're a wrestler and you don't ever just want to hit somebody, bro?
No.
All right, proceed.
Okay, actually, you know what? There might be a person or two out there.
You're telling me you've never looked at my ass and been like, man, I hate this motherfucker.
Okay, I've never said I hate you. Sometimes you can irk me.
You've had thoughts in the past about wanting to kill me.
No, I've never had thoughts that I want to kill you. Maybe smack you around a little bit because you say some stupid shit sometimes, but not kill you. Yeah, maybe fucking put your teeth on the fucking curb and stomp your head in.
Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. All right, proceed. Guys?
Okay, so
Brianna?
Are we talking about the story arc now?
Yeah, we've been talking about the story arc the whole time.
Okay, so Aaron, do you want to take the story arc? You want me to do the story arc?
Just hit the story arc. Go.
Okay. So the inciting incident would be that Mr. Nick Dunn's wife of, I think this is their 5-year
anniversary.
It's their
wedding
fifth
anniversary.
wedding anniversary is what I'm trying to say. Let me restart that. Sorry. The inciting incident is Mr. Nick Dunn's wife goes missing on his 5th wedding anniversary. And he goes back home and his like coffee table is flipped over and it looks like someone might have like come in and taken her. So he calls the cops. He's pretty cooperative with the cops. Mr. Nick Dunn is a polite man. So when they're doing some search parties and kind of at the vigil, he's not kind of acting like the worried husband. So that kind of, I feel like, leads us to kind of plot point 1. Would y'all agree, or anything to add to that?
Nope.
So that's kind of the setup. So as the story kind of goes on, one thing that we learn, we're getting kind of flashbacks from Amy, that's his wife's name, her diary that she wrote. And we're starting to find, like, we found out, we're learning how they met, and then we're starting to find out that their marriage is not as good as, it's just not a good marriage. They're drifting apart, and, he kind of wants to leave her. We also find out that Nick is having an affair with one of his students. I think he's like a college professor, correct me if I'm wrong, or like creative writing or something. So he's been having an affair with his student, which that's another similarity to the Scott Peterson and Lacey Peterson case. He is not like a teacher, but we found out everyone found out, like, when she went missing, the mistress of Scott Peterson kind of came forward and was like, me and Scott were in a relationship, but I didn't know all this stuff. And so she kind of...
Did Scott Peterson's mistress have big milkers as well?
You can look up a picture, I guess. I don't know.
I was really sad that he was cheating. Like, I really wanted to like him, and I kind of did for a while, and then I found out he was cheating. And I was like, dang it. I wanted to like you, Nick.
I was also kind of disappointed about him having the mistress, because you want to like this character, and you obviously you don't want to believe that he did anything, which he didn't. But
I just want to point out really quickly that I didn't want to like this character because he's, Ben Affleck is playing him also. But then, and we'll get into this more when we go to the characters. But also, now I found, I don't know if I just hate this female actor or if her character is intentionally fucking hateable, even to start the movie, but I was kind of wanting Ben Affleck to be a good guy because I hated this bitch so much. But proceed.
Yeah. Anyways, he's not acting like people think he should in the media, so then they start to think that he did it, and he's becoming the prime suspect. And then some stuff happens, and he figures out that his wife is basically setting him up to make it look like he did something to her.
Yeah, he finds out through like the wedding. They do wedding anniversary games, and so he's a treasure hunt basically every year. And he's like, she left him clues, and so he's slowly figuring out that she's still alive and is setting him up for murder. So I think his next move is to go get the big time lawyer, right?
Yes. So
everybody figured out, what was up like 3 minutes into the movie, right? Or am I just giga brain?
Like did we knew that she was setting him up? Is that what you're asking?
Well, obviously that he didn't kill her and something was up with her and she was weird as fuck, at least.
I knew the whole plot already because I knew Gone Girl before I saw it, so I was aware that she was setting him up the whole time. So,
wow. Okay, proceed.
I can't relate.
Anyways, he go gets the lawyer. He's a unit. And
he's basically able to do this interview, this TV interview, where to the public, it's making him seem like he's saying all the right things and everything, but really, like, in this interview, he's mainly talking to his wife without so much saying, like, you know, I'm talking to you, because
and he's triggering her.
So, it kind of, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through, it kind of switches, and then we're kind of, like, keeping up with Amy, and so, like, with her on the run and everything, and so, like, basically her plan kind of gets foiled because some of her money was stolen. So she goes and she's staying with this dude from high school who she's told everyone that this is like her stalker, but she's like being really nice to him, and like he doesn't think that he's her stalker or whatever. But she sees this interview and basically she kills him and comes back to Nick.
Yeah. And Nick can't really, like, he knows that she's lying about it, but he's kind of in a tough situation of, like, what are you going to do, you know?
Yes.
If you try and leave, everybody will hate him.
Exactly. Because, I think since, it tells you kind of the dates as you go through the movie, but I think it was something like 3 or 4 months that she was missing. So he would look like a complete asshole if when she got back, he was like, yeah, I'm leaving you. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew I didn't kill you. So, I mean, he kind of has to play along and...
Yeah. One of the final scenes is him talking to his lawyer and, like, a police captain of the agent who was helping his case before, that was prosecuting him, basically. And they basically tell him that there's nothing they can do. Even, they might believe him that she framed him for murder and everything, but it's out of their hands. It's pretty much a case at this point.
And also she tells him that she's pregnant and there's like a pregnancy thing. So like also he ends up, because there's a scene at the end where he's talking to his sister, and his twin sister, and she's like bawling because she doesn't want him to stay with her, but he doesn't really want to stay with her for her, but he wants to stay for the baby. But really, you don't know if she's pregnant or not because she's already in the movie faked a pregnancy. So it could be fake, it could be real. Who knows? Yeah. So yeah. So that's pretty much the stuff.
So did the story arc make sense? Was it a traditional story arc that makes sense, boys?
Yeah.
Like, it made sense to me. Like, I could follow along and, like, I understood it.
I actually kind of traditional. I kind of liked how it was. To me, it felt like two interwoven plots. You had Amy's plot and you had Nick's plot, and at some points they overlap each other, but you get to watch these two plots interact with each other without ever crossing until they get back together. Like, you see what Nick's doing and how it affects her plot, and then you see what she's doing and how it affects Nick's plot. So I kind of like the double plot aspect of it.
Yeah, I thought the plot was fine. Didn't have any problems with it.
The only problem I have is cheating. I wanted to like this dude so bad.
Well, unfortunately, in life,
well, I mean,
Aaron, people cheat on their spouses.
Yeah, I get
it's an unfortunate fact.
That's not like how an issue of how the movie was made. It's just
no.
I don't think he was saying that. I just think with the movie he's saying is that's the only problem he had.
Yeah, I wish I could have liked him more. Because weirdly enough, I hate Ben Affleck as an actor, but I liked him in this movie. I think this was my favorite movie he's been in, maybe besides Good Will Hunting.
All right, so was this plot plausible? This is where I've got issues, fellas.
I don't think it's okay. Plausible in the sense of it is a exaggerated version of something that can happen, sure. It's not completely unbelievable.
True, yeah.
But the thing is, this universe is based on our current reality that we actually live in real life. I just have some issues with they're not police, I guess they're detectives.
Mm-hmm.
They work for the police, I guess. Whatever. I have an issue with how the detectives, I don't feel like they would be acting like that.
Oh yeah, and I feel like the detectives in this story did shit as detectives.
Wait, hold on. Back up real quick. Acting like what? And then I'll get to you, Jacob.
All right.
Like, I feel like they gave him so much, like, leeway. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I'm not a
Well, they didn't.
I'm not a crime scene expert. I'm not an expert by any means. But they don't. From what I understand, detectives don't like making arrests if they can't find a body or anything like that.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of evidence in the beginning. And remember, like, he reached out to them. It's not like somebody else reported her missing and he was like, you weren't able to get a hold of him. Like, he came
He might have
home.
been a little suspect, but I don't think they had enough to arrest him.
I mean, he was weird, but he was cooperating. Like, so.
well,
And that one detective guy did have suspicions. He was like, this guy.
And he
is
wanted to arrest
weird.
him, but she was like, "We don't have a body. We don't really have any proof that he did it." So
And once
can't
they-
arrest him.
Speculation.
Yeah, once they got evidence and like found the shed with all the stuff, they did arrest him because they have the evidence.
I don't really have a problem with the detectives giving him the amount of leash they did because there just wasn't.
Well, I just don't understand Doug's perspective. Did you want them to show up and immediately arrest him?
No. First of all, I feel like they should have been interviewing him more than they were. Because,
Okay.
like, just thinking about, like, the Chris Watts situation, like, they were interviewing this motherfucker for, like, 3 hours. And then, as they're finding more evidence, they're not, like, calling him in for additional interviews and shit. And then he's doing, like, weird, suspicious stuff that makes him look guilty. And then the detective is like, huh, he does look guilty, but, this shit ain't adding up. And then they're like, fuck it, now we're going to arrest him anyways. It was just kind of weird to me.
For me, I think a lot of it has to do with, you have to look at this movie as it took place, the first, like, 90% of it took place over, like, 3 days. Like, they have, like, the dates on there, and it's like a 3 or 4 day span before he gets arrested. So, yeah, I guess it might have seemed like a long time because we are sitting with this character for a long time in this movie, like pretty much 2 hours before he gets arrested. But it was only like 3 or 4 days in movie time. So, and like they did question him immediately whenever they came. They're pulling evidence and questioning him. They were suspicious of him the whole time. It was just they needed something to actually arrest him for. So when they found the shed of stuff that matched the credit card records that he was saying he didn't make purchases of, and now they're on his twin sister's lot, that's enough to arrest him. It might have seemed like we were sitting there for a long time and they weren't doing anything, but I just feel like since it was only like 3 days in movie time, I think it just the perception of it was a little long.
I just feel like maybe they didn't do a good enough job on the first questioning scene they had.
Well,
maybe that's why I feel this way.
And then also let me,
because if I was a detective and I was interviewing this motherfucker, and to me it would seem like he's lying because he knows like nothing about his wife at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have him in there longer. But
well, they also even say, like, they asked her blood type and he's like, I don't know her blood type, and after he leaves, the other cop is like, should I know my wife's blood type? And she's like, no.
I don't even know my blood type.
I do.
I'm gonna say something. Oh, well, but that goes back to also, I feel like why this is plausible, because you look at, I mean, you don't watch a lot of true crime cases, but there's so many times in cases that detectives like mess everything up, or they don't do enough questioning, or there's something with the crime scene, or, I'm not saying it's every case, but there are a lot of cases where the police work is shoddy. I disagree on this that their police work was shoddy, but even if you do think that the police work in here was shoddy, then it's still plausible because that happens all the time. I know this was a long time ago, but like the JonBenet Ramsey case, like the police work was awful, which is probably one of the many reasons we don't have answers to what actually happened. So I still feel like even if you think that they didn't do a good job, it still fits into the plausibility.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, we can move on from this, but I think my issue is just like they kind of seem like competent in the story, but then like they do things that are not competent. It seems to me. I don't know. Anyways, that's not even my main plausibility point. So if I can move to the next one.
Sure.
Now, maybe this is just me because I personally don't give a flying fuck what other people think. I wouldn't be anywhere near this psycho bitch after she comes back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that was for me as well. Looking at it, I have to suspend a little bit of disbelief with it, and just accept the fact that he was going to stay. Because I also would not. I would have a really tough time sticking around.
I just don't get it.
And I don't get it either. But I don't think it's not plausible that he would feel like he has to stay.
No, it's not fucking. I can't. Just in my head, I fucking can't.
So
I can't make myself believe. I can't do it.
So basically, and I'm not even trying to flame you, but if Doug wouldn't do it, it's not plausible.
Well, I just don't understand how, like, she basically tried to kill him.
Correct.
I mean, I agree. It's crazy that...
And he knows she killed a guy.
Correct.
Yeah.
But, like his lawyers say, he has no evidence.
So it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, but what's the evidence? He knows that stuff happened, but how does he convince the federal agents who are convinced that this story is the truth?
Hey, I don't need to convince anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
I'm going to get on my fucking
private
jet and go to the other side of the planet.
I think at that point...
Get some security.
Yeah, I think at that point, you just distance yourself. You don't even have to, like, try her for murder or anything, but you just... I don't know. You try to distance yourself as much as possible and make sure you, this time, dot all your I's and cross all your T's and make sure she can't do that to you again. But...
He definitely hates her in the end, for sure.
Yeah. He hated her before all this. Definitely hates her more now.
And, like, I guess he had sex with her, like, when she came back?
What do you mean, for the pregnancy?
Yeah.
I think it says in there that she... Because it talks about at one point in the movie that they were going to a specialist because they were at one point in their marriage, they were trying. And he mentions that, like, he was doing everything.
She got his nut.
Yes, I think so.
I
could be wrong, but I think so.
That's what she's implying, is, like, because he said that he has the destroy thing, and she was like, something about how that's not, like, things can be fixed or whatever for you.
Any issues or comments on the plausibility before we move on?
From your perspective.
Well, you didn't know about the magic coral in Old.
Okay, that didn't do much.
You didn't know about the scientific
the gravitational pull and shit, and the fucking hot model fucking snapping all her limbs.
They should have just done like a really quick trailer where it's like, you know, people go on vacation and they go to this beach and they don't come back. Why don't they come back? And like that's the trailer, because I mean, like as soon as I know we're switching movies real quick. Let me say this one thing, and then we're done with that movie Old. But as soon as they show up to the hotel, you're like, I know exactly what's happening. Like, it's not a shock, and I feel like they're supposed, afterwards they want you to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't see this coming. You do see it coming because of the trailer. Anyways,
yeah,
I feel like the premise was good. of Gone Girl.
What was that rant about?
I'm sorry, you can cut that.
No, we're not cutting that.
Oh God,
that was Bree's first rant. Is where I'm here for.
All right, entertainment value. Saying. Who was entertained? Jacob, were you entertained? Go.
Yes, I was. Here's the thing. I told Aaron today, I am not a fan of Rosamund Pike at all. Like in her movies, I just don't like her. But
this is the only movie I've ever seen her in, and I hate her.
She was really fucking good in this movie. Like this is my, for Aaron's Ben Affleck, like him saying this is like the only movie that he really likes him in. this is her for me. Like, this is it for me for her. Like, she plays this like cold, calculated, manipulative bitch the entire time. She plays it so well.
Are you erect right now?
It was good acting, man.
Aaron, were you entertained? Go.
Oh yeah. This is pretty good for me. I like murder mysteries, and you throw in like a little bit David Fincher style to it, and I was hooked from the beginning.
Brianna, were you entertained? Go.
Yes, I was entertained. I will admit, like overall, I was entertained. I will admit some parts, especially kind of in the beginning as they're building everything, is a little bit slow. I know some people, yeah, some people, when if you don't know anything about the movie, like you didn't see the trailer, like your friend is just like, "Hey, watch this movie with me." I could understand, especially in the beginning, probably like I would say like maybe the first 20 minutes, that you're watching this and you're like, okay, this is really slow, and especially because it's like 2.5 hours long, it kind of might turn some people off. But I do feel like once you make it past that slow buildup, entertainment-wise, it is worth it.
I think for me, the switching point that really got me entertained was whenever it's revealed that she's still alive. Then you realize that Ben Affleck actually knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, because in the beginning it really does, they make it seem like it's him. They're not introducing anybody else. So it's like, okay, so did he do it? Do we have to watch 2.5 hours of this to figure out if he did it, So I would agree that the big switch is when we find out she's alive. Doug, were you entertained? Go.
So, I mean, just to go along with what you guys said, fellas, I was just a little bit bored. And then to couple that, I predicted the plot of the whole fucking movie like 5 minutes in, so it like made it like when it switched to her story, I was like, wow, this is a fucking shocker. But it wasn't a shocker for me. So there are some good parts in it, like when she slit this motherfucker's throat, and when she started going full psycho. And
so you just weren't entertained at all with it? You were just bored the whole time, besides these parts you just mentioned, or was any part of it like entertaining?
Pretty much. I was really fucking bored. All right. Hey, what's the identity of this motherfucker? Are there themes, sub themes?
I think it's a tough one because I don't know if there's a huge underlying theme here.
Yeah,
I kind of just think it is. So it's just supposed to
entertaining.
be an entertaining thriller
And full of twists. I don't think there's necessarily a theme of like, don't cheat on your wife or your wife will frame you for murder. I don't think that's kind of the theme, or
be faithful or you're fucked.
Yeah, or I mean, I don't think the theme is if you hate your husband and he says he's going to divorce you, to go ahead and just run off and frame him for murder, do all this stuff, and then actually murder somebody.
Maybe the theme
I'm definitely not cheating because I definitely am good at literary elements. But I'm gonna say a theme is like identity. Like him wanting her to be the cool girl and her wanting to be the cool girl for him, and her wanting him to be this way. All right, next point.
So wait, Doug is saying, hold on, Jacob, and then you can go. So basically, to wrap up what Doug is saying, the theme is to be yourself and nobody else. All right, Jacob, go ahead.
That's not the theme.
I wouldn't say really a theme or but kind of like an identity. Just basically at the last 10 minutes, you can't believe when it comes to people's lives and the inner workings and stuff. Don't believe everything is said on the news is real, because at the end they're like, oh, they're a happy couple, they're together, they love each other, yada yada yada. But in secretly they fucking hate each other, they fully resent one another, and just shit like that. I don't know if it's that. You could call that a theme or identity of the movie.
Yeah, Jacob. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Exactly.
I think if to elaborate on what Jacob said, if there is themes, it is that choosing your partner could be a theme of this, because just everything like Doug said, it's but they want each other to be a certain way, even though they were never that before they met each other. And then whenever they go back to his hometown, like it all goes to the fan because that's who he actually is.
All right, and were the themes intriguing?
In regards to there not being a huge theme, sure. I mean,
I don't know. I kind of see what y'all are saying. I also, on the other side, like the movie itself was intriguing because it's like who did it kind of thing. But like, I don't feel like I watched this movie and I'm supposed to necessarily get a life lesson out of it. You know?
Yeah, there is a definite life lesson in this movie.
Like,
don't be born in Missouri and go to New York and stick your dick in some psycho bitch and then marry her and then almost die.
The interwebs say that the theme is relationships, trust, manipulation, and control. Oh, there's your themes.
okay.
Yeah.
So I guess those are intriguing because they kind of affect the day-to-day people, you know?
All right, characters. How do we feel about the characters? You like these characters?
This is not acting. This is just how the characters are written, correct?
Yeah.
With my whole thing with this whole movie, I didn't like Nick being written as a cheater.
True,
I wanted to like him so bad, and that I get that that's supposed to make him cloudier, and especially to the public, supposed to make him cloudy. I just wanted to latch on to him for some reason from the beginning, and have a clear cut good guy. That's just me. I don't think there's anything wrong with how they did it, but as far as Rosamund Pike's character, though, I think she was written pretty well. I liked her.
Oh yeah.
I liked her darkness. She's very like
Aaron's erect.
She's almost maniacal.
Yeah.
Which I like. I didn't love Neil Patrick Harris's character, just like a weird stalker dude. He kind of seemed out.
He seems more like
this character role in the movie kind of seems below him. Because I mean, like the time this was made, he was really big. So like,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like if you have someone, especially at this time, like that this was made, and you're saying Neil Patrick Harris is in your movie, like he needs to be a bigger character, is what I'm saying.
I definitely think they could have built his character up some more.
Yeah,
maybe
I feel like
they could have. Oh, sorry, Jacob. I keep cutting you off. Go ahead, Jacob.
I feel like he wasn't like a fully formed character. He's more of like an idea that they were just kind of need like a space filler. Like, we need somebody that she can
maybe not a
with
space
later.
filler, but move this plot along, move this plan along. Because obviously she was gonna have to come back.
Stalker with a crazy creepy house with all these cameras and shit.
Yeah, they totally could have built that up so much more. Like they could have brought him in for questioning. Like all this,
and Nick and him could have had a confrontation.
Yes, and I feel like they only really used him when it was like convenient, or like y'all are saying, like to move the plot along. Like I feel like in the beginning, especially in the beginning of the movie, it would have been so much more interesting if we have we have Nick over here, and then we have I forget his name, but Neil Patrick Harris's character over here, and they're kind of like almost they're kind of intertwining. Yeah, Desi, and you kind of see a little bit like of his. I don't know. I feel like
I agree.
Could have done way more with his character for the. I don't know, for the plot.
Yeah, for as strong as the other two main characters were there, Neil Patrick Harris' character was kind of weak to me. Other than that, Tyler Perry's character actually had a lot of personality in this movie, which
yes.
I
feel like he's kind of a lovable character in this, and well, I mean, I guess this is my opinion on it. I feel like he's a lovable character in this, and then also I like Nick's sister. I feel like she's like a realistic, someone you can relate to character.
I think she is like a good description of like middle ground between them, because she doesn't agree with Nick cheating. She thinks that he's a fuck up sometimes, but at the same time, she still supports him and believes him. So I like that character.
And at like one point, she's like, "I'm sad if something happened to Amy," and he, Nick's like, "You don't even like her," and she was like, "You don't have to like I don't have to like her to not want anything bad." I'm kind of paraphrasing, but not want anything bad to happen. Like I cannot like people but still have compassion and empathy for them.
Yeah. And I think that makes her an interesting middle ground character, which I think you need. You have two opposites here that's clashing the entire time.
Yes, and real quick, she doesn't she doesn't feel the empathy for Amy the whole movie. Like once she finds out, she's trying to frame Nick and basically get him killed, she's like, F this bitch,
Okay.
I do feel like once you meet the supposed Amy's best friend, the neighbor, like once you meet her and kind of talk to her, I feel like you're like, oh yeah, like Amy's probably a little bit crazy if she's like supposedly best friends with her because she's a little cuckoo.
I hate her.
I feel like they should have made the stalker character like more stalker.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we were saying too. Like, if you're gonna say that he's a weird stalker boyfriend, hype that up a little bit. Make me believe a little bit more of it. I guess maybe it could have been a thing where she framed him too. But if that's the case, show me that. Like, I needed a little bit more for that character.
I think it might have been a thing like they didn't want to make him look like super weird because they wanted to make her look like super psycho for killing him. So if he was like extra weird, I don't know.
Then show me that he's not weird. I don't know. I got a thing where it's like
people still believe
he was weird, but also he wasn't weird enough.
But even if they would have inserted him earlier in the plot and made him seem like more of a stalker, like they said, it doesn't matter because when she kills him, like people still think that he kidnapped her and held her hostage because of how she acted for the cameras. So it wouldn't have mattered whether they left it like that or if you inserted him earlier. People are still. I mean, she did frame him basically, so people still think it was him that did it in the movie.
All right, how was the acting? Go.
Good. I don't know. It wasn't.
I mean, I'd say the best actor or actress, I guess, is the whoever plays Amy, because I mean, she has to do a lot. I feel with her character.
I think the sister is better.
I do think Margot's good. Rosamund Pike.
I'm not saying she's bad.
No. Yeah. I'm just Rosamund Pike plays Amy. I think she does a really good job of conveying this character that's supposed to be like crazy, but not acting outwardly crazy.
Well, but that's that's what I'm saying though. She has to play in the beginning, she has to try to win you over to be like, oh, this person's really nice and she's being abused or whatever, and then she has to switch to like psycho, manipulative, like to actually show that.
I knew there was something off.
Maniacal.
I knew there was something off about this bitch when the movie started.
I do think
I didn't trust her from the beginning.
Maybe that's part of what's happening here. Is it's supposed to divide you. Some people are supposed to believe her and some people aren't, maybe.
So she's probably like good at acting weird, and then she's intentionally acting weird, and then I think the movie was probably like done in a way to make her look weird. So
what I'm saying is I don't think anybody was a bad actor or actress in the movie, in my opinion. What I'm saying though, for Amy's, whatever her name is, I know I've said it a few times, the ranges that she has to do for her acting is just different than everybody else's. Like everybody else gets to just kind of act like their character along the way. So like the sister, she's a good actress, but she doesn't have to like do all these different types of things. Like she can kind of just stay consistent the whole time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I fully agree with you. Like for her, in like the beginning, she's the fun, like, oh, ha ha ha, whatever, like we're flirting, whatever, I love you, you love me, and then like you realize that she's like really manipulative, and it shows like it follows her through like the whole process of her in hiding, on the run, whatever, and then she has to act completely different for strangers that she interacts with, and things like that. Like I feel like that was like really like, because at one point in the movie she's like sitting on the couch, stuffing her fucking face full of Fritos and shit, looking all like not like really good looking, like she's like I don't know, like her acting in those spots were like really good, and the fact that she was trying to hide who she really was to these people that she's interacting with.
I want to elaborate on what Brianna said with the like she has to play different parts like throughout the movie. I really like the fact that she's able to play these different parts but keep it within a range that is like she isn't completely just like snapped. She at no point in this movie do I feel like she ever like goes off the deep end. I feel like she plays
Yeah.
this in like a way that is like she could have been like this the entire time and we wouldn't even know it. And that's how she plays the character, and I really like that it never feels like she's just gone. It feels like she's always doing this on purpose. And
God.
I think that's really I think that's a really like to tell thing on her acting is her acting skills is that she's able to play like crazy but keep it within a realm that is like, oh shit, like has she done this to her other previous boyfriends? Or is she now going crazy?
I think she's
Yes.
now going crazy. She literally stabbed somebody when they're having sex.
Yeah, but her other boyfriends claim that like she framed him for stalking and the
True,
fake suicide. Neil Patrick Harris had
true.
fake suicide. So I like she keeps it when she goes like quote unquote crazy. She keeps it grounded enough that it's like it's believable that she could have done this before, and it
Yeah, sure.
wouldn't have like took her off the deep end.
True. I will say this. Honestly, out of this entire movie, my favorite acting job is done by Tyler Perry.
I do think Tyler Perry's really good in this movie.
Like in this movie, like this is one of the only movies that he is in that he doesn't play a grandma. Like he's not dressed as a woman, or it's not like a comedy. Like this is like I like peg him as like Medea. To me, he is fucking Medea. That's his character. Jesus Christ! But like in this, he's very like serious, and he plays it really fucking well.
He's serious, but he's also like comedic relief. He's funny still.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
but he's also playing a serious role, which I like.
Yeah,
I do think Margot's funny too.
Yeah, like the I guess to kind of close it out because Doug looks like he's getting bored with this. I agree with y'all that like Tyler Perry's character and like his acting is good. I don't think it's anything like stellar because again,
same.
He doesn't have to like give this like Oscar winning performance. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have to switch a mode where he gets like emotional and we're crying with him or get really mad and we're scared of him or whatever. Like he plays the character he's supposed to play. I'm not saying he's bad in this movie at all. I'm just saying like I feel like, he showed up, he did what he was supposed to do and it was successful.
Yeah, to wrap up completely, the only person that was nominated for Best Actor / Actress was Rosamund Pike for this movie. She was nominated, she didn't win, but she had an Oscar nomination for her acting. So,
but that makes sense to me.
That's telltale right there. She was the Best Actor. Case closed. Let's move on.
Okay.
I'd like to talk more about the acting.
The next part is dialogue.
Storytelling. Is the dialogue effective in telling the story?
In the beginning, it's a little forced to me. Like, especially in the very, very beginning of the bar. It feels like Ben Affleck is trying so hard to deliver these, like, I hate my wife, she hates me lines. And then when it switches to her, like, diary, it's very, like, it just feels like it's kind of trying to force this feeling upon you. But after that, after he comes home and she's like gone, and then he is revealed that she's still alive, I feel like the dialogue really clears up after that, and it just becomes more flowy.
Yeah, true. I will say this: there was the one line in that bar scene at the beginning that I actually like laughed out loud at. I don't know if you guys remember the line, but it was like,
yeah, they're talking about their like when you get married, each year is like it represents a different thing, and so year 5, you're supposed to get your husband or wife like something like made out of wood. So that's he's like, he's like, I don't know, like what am I supposed to get her made out of wood? And then the sister has that line. She's like,
go home, go home, fuck her brains out. There's some wood for you, bitch. Like, that was like the line. I laughed so fucking hard at that.
I guess my main issue would be Ben Affleck. Like Affleck, Ben. I feel like I'm saying his name weird. Whatever.
Yeah, y'all are saying
Affleck. Sorry, Ben. I'm just gonna say Nick
Affleck.
from now on.
Ben Affleck.
I feel like Nick's dialogue in the beginning is my main issue. And it just, to me, it feels like he's trying to force this upon us.
That and I didn't love the dialogue, when it like flashes back to them meeting. It feels very like
Yeah.
Like I'm like, maybe I'm just a cynic. I don't know, but I'm like, people don't actually meet like that, or like when you first meet, people don't actually talk like that. But then again, this was based in New York, and maybe they do. But I was like, it wasn't for me.
I thought that was on purpose because they're supposed to be fucking weirdos.
I think it's like too cutesy.
Yeah.
Like I think it's supposed to make you think that they're like a cutesy couple that's like related.
It's
like
like
like we're
perfect
supposed to
and
be
like
I think we're supposed like us as audience is like, oh, I want that. But I feel like I watched it and I was like, ew.
Yeah, it was really
that's
cringe.
pretty cringy up until like she gets like it's a reveal that she's still alive. I feel like, and then it kind of ditches that stuff and it's just
Like
normal dialogue from
the
then on.
sugar thing. I was like, that's corny. Like super corny.
But I'm about to get crazy, but are we sure that actually happened and it's not
That
like
is also true.
It's not the psycho bitches like make believe version of
Well,
what happened.
Supposedly, the first part of the diary where they meet is like supposed to be true because in her thing, it's like her plan, quote unquote plan. I'm doing air quotes, but y'all can't see because
shut the fuck up.
but
We're gonna have to repeat that.
Supposedly, quote unquote, she says in the movie when she's talking about her plan is for this diary to write entries in the beginning that are actually true, and then to make it believable. Because even when like the detectives are questioning him kind of about the diary, he's like, "Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true." And then when it starts getting to like he abused me, I was scared of him, yada yada yada, like it's false, but because everything leading up, it's supposed to be like everything leading up to that is true. So once he starts saying it's false, it's like, well, why would she lie about this but not this? And so supposedly it's true, but again, she lied about a lot, so who knows?
You know what? I think I'm starting to like this movie as like a men's rights kind of thing.
I think that the opposite of what's happening here.
Jesus Christ. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
What's next?
But I mean, all right, I just have to put this in there. Like, some dudes are. It happens both ways, obviously, but I feel like it doesn't get talked about. Some dudes get like scary shit happening to them.
Sure, this
Like,
is a fucking nightmare. Like,
just
this is a nightmare.
Fellas, Google PJ Washington. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's a fake movie, but I wrote down in my notes while watching that this is a fucking nightmare for any guy. Like, this shit is scary. This is obviously a very dramatic version of that, but like, this is something that's scary. Think about happening to you as a man, because a lot of times, Brandon, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of times in these murder cases and like true crime and stuff, first suspect is the husband.
Yes,
And
correct.
a lot of times it is the husband, but
that's what I was about to say. A lot of times it is the boyfriend or the husband. Not every single time. There are times where
99 out of 100.
There are times where like they question the husband first and it ends up not being him or like the boyfriend or fiance, but I'd say probably seven out of 10. And this statistics is just off my head. It could be the wrong statistic, but I'd say 7 out of 10 times it usually is the male figure that is close to you for a woman.
I texted Kaylee before I found out he was cheating, and I was like, "Hey, if I'm ever like lazy and like you start to hate me, can you tell me and not like fake your death so I gotta fucking get the death row, please? I would like to just
that's weird. Me
know."
and Kaylee were texting the other night about how to frame you.
Oh, fantastic.
Aaron, get the fuck out now.
We'll have to
Aaron,
change our
get out
plans a little
now.
bit. Tell her I'll text her later.
Aaron, we have to fake your death first. Go, go, go.
All right, so context. Do we feel like
the only thing I have an issue with, like the context of the dialogue, is her accent for New Orleans. I didn't know what the fuck she was doing for a little bit there when she is in hiding and she's trying to act like she's from New Orleans. I was like, what the fuck is this accent? I had no clue. Even after she said she's from New Orleans or whatever, I was like, let's calm down on the accent there.
No, there's not really much to talk about on this one.
Yeah, I mean,
that I can think of.
they didn't really. I mean, this is supposed to be based in, I forget the year, but kind of 2000s.
2005.
Yeah, I was gonna say early 2000s, and I feel like they kind of kept true. Like, I don't know, whatever gaming system. I bet if you looked it up, that was the gaming system that was popular in 2000.
Nah, I think his game was looking a bit
No?
newer
Well,
than 2005, to be honest. But that's
You know what? It might have been
that's not bad.
2010. They met in 2005,
mm.
and it took place in 2010.
It's not a dialogue issue. So.
But I mean, like, they dressed kind of how they would dress and whatever.
Well,
and
you're getting into the next. We're talking about dialogue here. Moving into Brianna's point. Lighting, setting, and wardrobe. We'll just skip over visual language and come back to it. Go. They dress how they would dress.
Oh, sorry. Well, I thought that's what we were talking about. I can wait. It's not a big deal.
Setting. Well, we were talking about it. Go. Setting 2010.
Yeah, I feel like
Video
they
games.
stay true to the time period that they were in, is what I'm saying.
How's the lighting, fellas? Do we like the lighting? Good lighting?
I mean, I can fucking see everything.
All
was
right.
fun.
That's a W. You don't have to turn up the lighting on your TV to see the bitch on the ceiling?
No. No, this is as far as like setting and stuff, it just you're in real life, so they're not talking like crazy here, so it was a believable setting.
Visual language, shot selection, camera work. We like it. Was it fine?
Well,
Any issues?
Yes.
I think that's actually one of the stronger points of this film. Like,
yes.
David Fincher has such a language he hits consistently.
I agree with that.
Like we will talk about music later, but I really like his selection of shots paired with the sounds and music he puts together.
So we got the pace and the tone.
I feel like we've already kind of talked about the pace.
They say it's a little bit slow for me.
Well, I feel like it's slow kind of in the beginning, almost like the first half, and then it's like the end. There's like kind of the second half. There's so much that happens. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's like,
I do think.
Sorry.
I do think it goes on for a bit long in the end. After she gets home, I think it kind of drags the ending a bit out too much for me, where I was getting anxious.
Like, honestly, I could have done without us seeing her, like, in the motel, making friends kind of with the neighbors, and then her, them robbing. Like, I just feel like they didn't do a lot.
It was one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah, I just feel like they didn't do a lot for me in the plot. Like, to help pace it more, like, that could have totally been cut out for me. And it still, like, I don't know, it wouldn't have changed my view of the movie.
Well, I feel like you need to keep in her getting robbed, because that's the reason that she had to go to fucking what's his name?
Yeah, I just don't think they needed to make
Desi.
it like, well, I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
I guess it didn't really matter.
I feel like she just could have shown up and been like, just told some story and like, or I don't know. I guess they didn't have to make that so long. Like I feel like that took. I mean, it wasn't a huge part, but also like I do feel like it took up a lot of time that could have been spent other places or just been cut out.
I think that's my issue with it.
That the last part. That's what we like to hear. Cut it out completely.
I don't think cut it out completely. I think the issue is you're having so much happen with Nick's character. He's meeting the lawyer. He's getting all the interviews, all this stuff, and she's just sitting there. And I think it cuts the pace up a little bit too much.
I mean, you add to the fact that this is a 2-hour, 30-minute Lord of the Rings banger.
It is a little long.
Yeah, I remember. I felt like it was towards the end. I remember pausing it, and there was like 45 minutes left. I was like, "There's still 45 minutes left of this movie."
I never looked at my phone and was like, "Oh God, what time is it?" But when I got to the end, I was like, "Whew, that was a journey. That was long." So with the pacing, I think it slows down a little bit sometimes too much.
But I mean, I go back to Desi's character. I feel like having him earlier on in the movie just would have paced it so much better. Because then I don't know.
Yeah, I think you could cut out a lot of weird. Cut out the cheating shit completely, and add in more with Neil Patrick Harris's character. If we're gonna fill that time, throw it there so we can get more of his stuff.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Any comments about the tone?
Consistent tone the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not super dark, but it's chilling. That's what I would call it. Most of it. It's
Very gray.
Yeah, and it's like you get some cop stuff. It's like a murder mystery at some points, and that's all good.
All right, effects. This is best part of the movie for me.
Oh yeah, dude, all the fucking CGI is fantastic.
No, shut the fuck
I'm
up.
just kidding.
The practical blood effects when she slits this motherfucker's throat and she's just covered in it is the best.
It does
scene in the
have
movie for me.
it does have some pretty good some practical stuff going on. Even to the point of like when he pushes her and stuff, they do a pretty good job of choreography there to where it looks
Yeah.
pretty painful.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not that many effects to discuss, so
Yeah, those are pretty much it. But for what it is, it's good.
Music. Gosh, I can't even think of what the music was in this movie.
Oh, I can.
Neither I can't either. Actually,
what are the two categories for sound and music? Is it like normal?
Does the music harmonize with the story?
Yes. I fucking love the music in this movie. The music, I think, is a really good harbinger of the tone of this movie and the chilliness of it. It is kind of broken up music. It doesn't always sound like a symphony. It kind of has some sharp points and stuff in it, which I really like. And it never gets like a super big important part of the movie, but I do think it adds some stuff to it, which I enjoy because I'm a music freak in movies.
For music, I feel there's not like a thing. I mean, there's not like a song that like I would associate with this movie. You know, like
No,
I'm not
no.
saying it's bad. That it just I don't even remember parts where there was music. So I don't necessarily have a problem with the music.
There's multiple points in my notes where the music for me just adds a little bit to the scenes, which
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for when I was thinking of it.
But I mean, like, you wouldn't be able to play me a song or something off the soundtrack and be like, "What movie is this from?" Like, I would not be able to tell you, like, "Oh, this is from Gone Girl." Like, none of that.
There's no recognizable theme or anything. I just like it's not. There's nothing like Fight Club, Where's My Mind, Needle Drop, anything like that in this movie. Not even close. But just the normal composer music, I think, is something I enjoyed.
I just listened to parts of a couple songs from the soundtrack, and it's pretty good, and it does go along with the story. So, Jacob, unless you have any comments, we're going to move on to the authenticity of the sound in the movie.
You guys covered it. Nothing, I guess, really, like, for me, I guess I wasn't really paying attention to the sound. Like, nothing really, like, stood out crazy. But I do, like, now Aaron said something about it, I do, like, recollect the, like, cicada sounds and stuff that they use in the movie that are super fucking loud the entire time. But yeah, nothing really other than that kind of just sticks out.
It makes it known that, they're in Mizzou.
I think especially in the beginning, I don't know what it is, but sometimes I feel like the sound, like it's really hard to hear them talking because the music is like really loud. That's how I felt like in the beginning. Like when they're at the bar talking, I feel like you got to like really turn it up to see what they were or to hear what they were saying because
I play every movie with subtitles, so I might not have noticed that.
Oh god.
Oh, well, we don't. So that's just something that I noticed. I mean, like it doesn't ruin the whole movie for me, but I feel like it definitely was an issue for me a little bit.
With the cicada sounds and stuff, just me personally, cicadas are a really like eerie thing for me. I don't know why, but I don't like the sound of a bunch of cicadas, and I think David Fincher realizes that sound is like a natural kind of eeriness to it. So I like how he uses that to kind of build some tension with it.
I would agree with that. Like I said, it's not the whole movie for me. It's just kind of in the beginning. Like I don't feel like the whole like every time somebody talks, I'm like, what are they saying? I'm mainly I think talking about in the beginning, like with those flashback scenes. I feel like almost every flashback scene, the mute like whatever's going on in the background or whatever, or I guess not really in the background, but whatever is supposed to be going on in the background is almost like overpowering their voices, or they're just talking really quietly, or my hearing is going. So I don't know.
The scene I specifically remember with the cicadas is whenever she's gone, she's already in hiding, and she's talking to her new friend she made, and she's sitting in the thing like watching the like news report of it, and she starts making fun of Amy to Amy, which she doesn't know it's her. In the background, there's these really loud cicadas, and I like how they I don't know if they do get louder, but I felt like they get louder as the tension builds. And I think it's an ambient way of building that tension.
Yeah, you're almost like, oh, is Amy going to kill this person? Because at this point we're like, oh, we know that she's capable of a lot. So I think that does do a good job of adding that suspense that you're talking about. And in that scene, I do think it's good that it is getting louder because there's not a lot of dialogue there.
And I don't know if it actually is, but I just felt like that, Like I just I was focusing more on it. I was getting tense.
Yeah.
All right, director vision. What was the vision? Was it a good vision? Was it cringe as fuck?
He took a book and made it into a movie, and everything I've read is he stayed pretty true to the book, and that's always a fucking accomplishment. So
true, yeah.
Because somebody sets up your vision for you. So I do think he does a really good job of making this a David Fincher movie. Still. So as far as vision, I think he hit the mark.
So what did he want to do? He wanted to make a mystery, suspenseful thing.
I mean, I feel like the vision was to take this book, adapt it into a movie that the people who read the book can kind of see what they read kind of come alive. I feel like that had. I mean, if you're basing your movie off your book and you stayed so true to the book, then I mean that's like the book is your inspiration, and then your vision is making it come alive. And I didn't read the book, so I don't know. I don't know if he executed the vision or not, but I feel like that had to be the vision.
All right. So
everything I read says
what was the vision of the book then?
What, Aaron? Everything you read, what?
Everything I read says that he was very true to the book. So that's where the accomplishment, I think, is staying true to the book, but also making it your own movie. And
sorry.
To answer Doug, I don't think it matters what the vision of the book is.
Well, no, the vision. I mean, the vision. So the vision of the book is like a murder mystery, basically. Like you're reading it and you're like, who did it? Is it the husband? Was it this other guy? Then it like plot twist. It was her.
All right. Did David Fincher do it, bro? Did he hit it? Did he?
I think so.
Did he do
it? My humble opinion.
I did not read the same thing Aaron read. I'm not saying I read anything contrary to that. I didn't read the book, so I don't know. Somebody who read the book might have to speak on the true execution from book to movie. But as a movie for the entertainment, I feel like he executed it. Like the characters made sense, and I feel like everything fell in good, and I feel like he executed it well. Like when I think of Gone Girl, I'm not like, oh, I hate this movie. There's so many things wrong with it. Is it my favorite movie? No, but I mean, the execution was, I feel like, good.
I think an important part. Yeah, I think an important part of it also is that I'm able to recognize him in this as well. Like I can recognize some of the stuff that he likes to do. It's like watching a Nolan movie. I can sit you and I can tell you that's a Nolan movie just by the way it is. I can tell this is a Fincher movie because it feels like a Fincher movie still.
Jacob?
I am 100% with Aaron on this one. So I can't really add anything without, basically just saying exactly what Aaron just did.
All right. Is this a one?
Doug, what do you think? You didn't say your thoughts on the execution.
It's fine.
Okay, move on. It's fine. Move on.
He made, the murder mystery. I'm fairly confident that it was how he wanted to do it. So
yeah, it's fine if you don't love it. Yeah, that's cool.
I didn't say anything. Was this a one-of-a-kind banger? I'll go first on this one. I'm just gonna say I don't feel like it was a one-of-a-kind banger.
For me, what I think makes it one of a kind is showing the point of view of the person who is framing the murder. And I like, there's so many of these murder mysteries, like somebody is dead and who killed them. And this one, this person's actually not dead. And you might have sniffed it out, but I know plenty of people that did not sniff it out. So I think that is what makes it unique.
Jacob,
is it a banger?
Sorry.
I don't know about that.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I was just saying, I don't know if it's like
you're done.
I don't know if it's like God tier, but it's pretty unique, I think, in the fact of having somebody who's not dead framing their husband.
Jacob, go.
I feel like this is more of a one-of-a-kind kind of movie. Because this movie to me is like a femme fatale kind of movie to where it's like the girl is the main character, she's the badass. This is like her plot that she's trying to like get away with or do whatever. And normally those movies end up one of two ways. Either one, she dies in the end or whatever, like she has who raw stand and she like dies or whatever. Or she completes her mission and she's off on a beach somewhere sipping a fucking Mai Tai, having the time of her life. But this movie goes into where she gets away with it. Later on, Ben Affleck's like, "Oh, I'm talking to the media. I've fucking checkmated you now, bitch. So now you have to come back to me."
It's not scared to let her
she
fail.
Doesn't win.
I agree.
Exactly. Like she fails at what she's supposed to do, and it ends kind of on like a sour note, really, in the fact that she is stuck now with Ben Affleck, and he's stuck with her. And the only thing that's real now, the only thing that's real now between the relationship, it's not love, it's the lies that they have to live with now.
Well, almost like everything's now out in the open. Like she knows that he knows that she was trying to frame him. I mean, she knows that he was trying to leave him. He knows everything that she did, and it's like now all these things aren't necessarily a secret. Like they don't love each other anymore. They don't like each other anymore, but all this stuff is out in the open. It's like it almost ends with a, like you're saying, on a sour note. It's like, how do they even move forward from this staying together?
Yeah.
And that baby, I'm worried for that baby if there is a baby.
True, yeah.
It's gonna be a fucking Hannibal Lecter serial killer for sure.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Jacob. I was just trying to add to your point. So
no, you're good. Hey, no, that's fine.
I mean, I'm just saying this, and someone might be able to prove me wrong. I don't know, but I feel like before this was written or made, I don't feel like there was a lot of murder mysteries of the wife framed the husband and then the wife comes back. Like, I feel like usually murder mysteries are, who done it? Oh, it's this random neighbor that they grew up with or whatever. So I feel like in the sense of nobody actually killed her and she came back and now they end on this sour note. I feel like in that sense, it does kind of make it a one-of-a-kind movie.
Yeah, that you just did a better job of explaining what I was trying to say in the beginning.
Oh,
so
sorry.
I agree. No, that's good. You did a better job. So I agree with you. I think that's what makes it unique is the storytelling.
All right, last point. Is this movie the shit? Is it is it God tier? Is it
who first?
Does it tingle your pee-pee?
I would say that it's really good. In my opinion, this movie is really well put together, executed very well. The acting's good.
Is it
plot's not too messy?
Is it above and beyond? A movie goes above and beyond the status quo, even above the best of the best.
And this is purely opinion. Purely opinion.
Is it beyond comprehension? You can't even explain why you love it. You just do.
It's no Dune, it's no Tenet, so I would have to say no, it's not it.
For me personally, I did get up and go, that was actually really good, and I really liked it. It didn't emotionally affect me the way some movies have, so I don't think it is it for me, but I don't want to discount the fact that I think it is really, really, really good.
True. 100% agree.
And if it is it for somebody, I totally see why.
Brianna, is this movie it? do you love it? Is it crazy good for you?
Personally, for me, kind of piggyback what Aaron said, it's not necessarily above and beyond for me. I wouldn't say this was like my all-time favorite movie to where I just can't explain why I love it. I just do. Is it a good movie? Yes. I feel like it's like, I don't know, it's a I want to say stable, but that's not the right word. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. Like I don't know. Like, do I mind rewatching it? No, but I don't know if I would be like all of my friends and family, like, you have to, like, you will not live until you've watched this movie, kind of thing, you know? But it is a really good movie, in my opinion.
Yes. Doug, you already answered, right?
Yeah. I haven't answered.
No,
but it just ain't it, Chief. It's just another movie. Also, the tirade I went on, I just want to give credit to MG Jasper once again. So, hey, let's just send it to the ratings. We got a new rating system.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a tier list, and then eventually we're gonna re-rank all our movies.
Yeah, I think if we like this tier list more, we like this setup more, we will just go back through and tier them up, and then that's how we'll do it from now on. We're going to be reviewing a lot of movies, and I think it's going to be hard eventually to start fitting them into each other, so we're just going to put on tiers. So our tiers basically are, we have our bottom tier is, why is this a fucking movie? So like, I don't even like, that's going to be movies that are really bad for us.
I prefer to call it trash tier.
Trash tier, totally fine as well.
Dog shit tier.
And again, these tiers are purely opinion. So we're not trying to be, end all be all voice on movies. It's perfectly fine to like a movie. Then our next one, we just have our normal A, B, C, D. A being top, D being right above the trash tier. And then we have another category called cinematic masterpiece. It's just, that's the top of the top best movies you can have. So who wants to put Gone Girl down first?
Brianna, let it rip.
I thought I was thinking there was another tier between like the trash and the B.
There is.
There's C and D.
D.
Oh. So then I guess mine would be
C, D's nuts.
I guess mine would be, for this movie, would be, can I say like a B plus?
Oh, come on.
It's a B.
What?
I would say for me, I would say this is a B for me. I feel like
you could say it's a B, but it's a high.
It's a high B. Okay,
B
thank
too.
you. It's a high B, close to an A, but for me, not all the way to an A. Just for some of the other points that I mentioned. But yeah, I'd say overall it's a B. I don't think it's cinematic. What am I trying to say? Cinematic masterpiece. Thank you. I just have other movies in my mind that would be an A or above or be above an A to that cinematic masterpiece. So yeah, for me, I think I would say B, high B.
Yeah, who's next?
I don't hate it. I don't mind rewatching it.
I'll go next. I'm gonna give it a low B. Pretty good movie, just not anything special for me. So,
okay, Jacob.
I was thinking about like just a low A.
Okay,
like, it's a good movie. The characters are good. The acting's good. The cinematography's really good. The tone's really good and stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed it, so I'm gonna give it an A.
Okay, I'm also gonna throw it, I think, in the low A tier. I did really like it. At the end, I found myself being like, "Hey, that was pretty good." I stood up and I was like, "Nice, I like that a lot." It just has pacing issues that are kind of hard for me. 2.5 hours long, and I'm like, "Oh man, that was a fucking journey." And yeah, there's some parts that I think could be a little bit better, but overall, that was a damn good movie. It's a lower end of the A's.
all right, that was Gone Girl. Jacob, you know what movie's coming up next week? Question mark.
So Doug, this is actually your movie. So.
Uh-oh. All right. We're gonna watch They Live next week.
That's the John Carpenter movie?
John Carpenter.
Wait a minute. No.
Roddy Piper. Jacob's
Why, dude? Why? Why do I have to miss that fucking week? Damn, I love that fucking movie.
All right, I'll change it. We are gonna be watching Memento for next week.
It's fine.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Cool. That was Gone Girl. You can follow us on Twitter at ThrillKillPod. You can find us now on YouTube as well. You can subscribe to us there. That'd be super sweet. And that's pretty much all I have to plug. You guys have anything?
Follow Jacob on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.